living the adventure, axis of awesome. Super Joe. My mic might have been on mute that whole time. Let's start this over again. Anyways. All right, guys. Let's start it over. So anyways, welcome to Who's in the Shop. I'm Jeff from Skunkworks Studios, and I've been trying to do this for a while now. Finally got around to getting the stream hooked up. Thanks to Lyle, Action Figures, and Adam at Georgia Lost Chronicles for helping me figure all this out. I really appreciate it. So today's guest is one of my favorite people, Felipe from Loucoporbonecos down there in Brazil. For those of you guys who have been living under a rock and aren't familiar with Felipe, he's one of the best customizers out there. He's probably the guy who reinvigorated the hobby several years ago. And he's also the man who brought, in my opinion, the Super Joe to the 1/6 scale community with his suits he did. And I can't wait to sit down and have a talk with Felipe as he gets ready to share with us a bunch of his customs and projects. And I can't wait to riff with him and just talk all about Falcon, 1/6 scale, G.I. Joe, and a bunch of other really cool topics. And hopefully I can ask him. I got a UFO question to ask him when we get going, because I'm always curious about the UFO incident down in Brazil, because I love that type of stuff, even though I don't know if I believe it all the time. So anyways, we got the comment section, I believe, open. Andy and Indy's here. I don't know how many of you will be here, since Brazil is 3 hours ahead of us. So it is probably about noon there right now. So I don't know how many folks are going to be tuning in here at 9 in the morning. But if you are tuning in and are on the comments here, I've got them going. I really appreciate you guys watching the live stream. So anyways, without further ado, let's bring on my good friend, Felipe. Let me get him on here. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Jeff, it is great to be here. This is my first ever live.
And awesome.
It's so great to be with you, man. Thank you.
It's my I think second or third. I started off the intro and I forgot to add the sound. This is a brand new stream platform for me, so I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm one of those guys. If you ever have worked with me in the real world, you'll know that my nickname at work is Half-Ass Sheer, because I just dive in and don't worry about it and just figure it out. Hey, anyways, I was going to ask you earlier, how do you say hello in Portuguese? Is it ciao?
No. Ciao is bye.
Bye, okay.
It's bye-bye, ciao.
Ciao.
And hello is oi.
Oi, okay. I'm going to remember that. When I message you from now on, I'll start it out with oi.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, what's been going on? I've seen a bunch of your cool customs on Instagram and Facebook over the last several months. And I know for a while there, you kind of pulled up tent stakes and kind of reset after you got done making the suits for Cotswold. And then Now you've come back in full force with some of the coolest customs I've seen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I came back full force, but 100% force on what I really like. I was exhausted with production, and it's really not my thing. You guys have Jeff, you have no idea how frustrating it is. And I am a perfectionist. And when some of my suits started to peel off, I was so mad because I paid. I want the best fabric. I don't care. I want to make the best stuff. And I used to dress. If I got like 50 spandex suits, I used to dress every single one of them to make
Wow.
sure they're okay. So at the same time I was frustrated because creatively wise, uh, most people are still very conservative. It's always camo patterns, and then blue, gray, black, brown, beige, and green. And for a guy that likes to think outside the box, and I'm not saying that this is better, but that's just the way I am. And I love military stuff. But I think after 100 military figures, maybe you could have some color in your collection.
So
diversity.
what made you decide to launch the Super Joe stuff? Because I think that's the first thing I became familiar with you on, that, and then the eagle eye head conversions, which are mind blowing.
Oh, thank you. Well, the Super Joe is that as a kid, I never understood why the companies had to make all these different formats. Why don't you sit down on the same table and agree? Like, okay, the small G.I. Joes or Star Wars and the 12-inch guys, not 14 inches, or not 8.5 inches. What is that? So it was a shame because there was a lot of people that enjoyed the Super Joe. When I first I got introduced to Super Joe by a great friend from Brazil called João Brasiliense. He used to be the biggest Falcon collector ever in Brazil, and he picked me up at the airport when I went to São Paulo for the first toy fair in Brazil. And I went to his house, and he showed me. He had this huge man cave filled with Falcons, which he lately sold to open his own restaurant. And,
Oh, wow.
and now he's buying all over again. But yeah, people are crazy, man. And these toys they just make us woo.
Speaking of that, selling collections, I remember as probably a few years ago when you kind of were winding down, you were selling off your DC Superpowers collection, I think.
I did.
You had the biggest Superpowers collection I think I've ever seen. I'm like, holy smokes, look at all those things. That is wild.
Those were one of the first custom figures I ever did. I did the Warlord out of a Batman and Green Arrow head. And I did some other stuff. I still have my Sandman, not the guy with the gun, but the new Gaiman version that was pale and spooky and stuff. I made a Sandman for my Superpowers collection. But answering your question, your previous question, João showed me Super Joe, and it all started when I realized that Estrella copied the Super Joe pattern for its Falcon 80 line.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, this is a good idea. And then I bought some Super Joe suits from eBay, and I was hugely disappointed because they were too small to my Falcons. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that about the scale. A lot of years ago, like I'm talking 2003, And then I decided, in the first time I tried to make clothes, I did directed to Brazil only, to support Brazilian fans, and it did not go well.
Really?
Brazilian fans did not go for it. They were too obsessed. I want it original. I want you to print the label and make like a pirate copy of it. I want you to print the Strela label and fix on it. And I can't do that. I can't fool
No.
people. Are you
Yeah.
crazy? And then when I came back, like 2015, I told myself, no, I will work for the American market, because when I started again, I had this dream to living there. I wanted ever since I wanted to have a toy company in the United States and
Uh-huh.
do crazy cool stuff. So I directed all my creativity to the American market, and I saw this huge gap, this huge opportunity. Let's make spandex suit for 12-inch figures, a Falcon themed. So that was that.
Yeah, like I said, you're the guy who introduced Super Joe to us in the 1/6 community. I mean, there's no debate on that, because I can remember when I first, I don't know if you remember, but when you first brought those over here, I think you had came over for a GI Joe convention. Was it down in Florida?
2016.
Yeah, 2016. I still think I have our correspondence, but you and I emailed back and forth, and I actually bought suits from you. You mailed them to me in the States.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, because then I got those suits and I was so like blown away by how awesome they were. But the thing that the difficulty I ran into was I didn't like the way they looked on the classic G.I. Joe bodies, because the classic G.I. Joe bodies were so skinny.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in my workshop one day and I had these Max Steel bodies. And I had
remember that
muscle body neck posts, and I was just tinkering because I watched you do all your customs. You had videos on YouTube at the time, I think, or Facebook. And I said, man, I wonder if I can mount this neck post to this Max Steel body. And then you were doing, I think,
you
Max
have
Steel
the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Yeah. You were doing Max Steel customs, and that Max Steel body looks so awesome in those super suits.
And there in the United States, you can buy the ultra articulated body. It's very rare here in Brazil.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. We had the Ken-like body, kind of, like.
Yeah, I bought a ton of those ultra bodies and made Super Joe figures. I still have a few, but I don't get them out very much. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, I did a conversion using a muscle body torso.
I saw that.
Arms, and then the Blue Box Toys legs, and those work out great. They're not, I've put them in your super suits, and I'll have to send you a picture of one. It looks great. Adam from G.I. Joe: The Lost Chronicles and I are doing a Super Joe photo story right now. Mm-hmm. So it's coming out in December, and I got a lot of your products in there.
Wow.
So. Yeah, I try to feature some of your stuff in all my photo stories, because you and Sean Huckster, who does all the 3D printing stuff for Cotswold, and a few other guys. You guys are so inspiring, and you make me push myself, and it's awesome to see all the things you guys make. I spend a lot of time looking at your stuff, especially like the suits that you made and the Eagle Eye stuff that you've done. I actually have this guy here. I've sent this to you.
But it's a group effort, because I showed you some stuff. Oh, the Chinese, the Japanese head.
Yeah, that's from White Elephant Toys here. And they make these reproductions. But this suit is one I bought of yours.
I really like this suit. I don't have any left. But
I know you told me that, and I was just like, I finally found a use for it, and this is perfect. So
this is perfect. The suit style and the hair, the head style, they match. It's really good.
Yeah, let me know if you need one of these. I'll send one to you. I got a few.
Oh, maybe I'll make an Eagle Eyes out of it.
You could. I'll send you one if you want. Just let me know.
But do you know what's great about this hobby is that a group effort. You showed me about Max Steel. I never realized they had this ultra bodies.
Yep.
And I bought like 3 or 4.
You did some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I do have. It's a mess here, but I'll try to show you something cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think what's great about it is to try to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. What I realized after I shut it down, because I was exhausted and I was really disappointed, because I went to Facebook begging, please, anyone there, give me a hand. Let's make a toy company. I need to
Yeah.
do that. It's my dream. It's my dearest dream. And of course, life is tough. It
Yep.
happens. And but it was good because I took my distance, and when I came back, I told to myself, I'm going to do only what I like. There's no production, and there's no nothing. It's just what I want to do. And then it was liberating, because I was detached from trying to get a job at Estrella, trying to make a toy company in the United States.
Uh-huh.
I was on my own and doing what I loved the most. So that's why I guess it worked back. It brought
Yeah.
me back.
So did you keep a lot of those customs, those old ones that you used to share?
I do. I have a hard time selling stuff because I fall in love with
I
most
do
of what I
too.
do.
I
Yeah,
do too. It's
it's
hard,
tough.
isn't it?
And I don't like to take commissions because I can't do the same thing twice. I have this huge difficulty.
I can't either.
I,
I feel I'm 100% there with you. And
because I'm very curious. So would it, for example, I'll start showing stuff.
yeah, go ahead. Do whatever.
I saw this. I had this Captain Action hat on
Okay.
my with me, and I said, would it be possible to fit Eagle Eye's mechanism on a Captain Action? I gotta know. And then I did this.
Oh, that's wild.
And it really works. Let me see if I can.
How about that T-shirt? Did you make that T-shirt?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm a graphic artist too.
Wow.
So it really works, and the mechanism is soft. And I wanted to make it blonde, so it wouldn't look so Captain Action. It would be just a weird face.
That is.
You know?
It's so unique looking.
And
I've got to ask you,
uh,
how did you come up with the Eagle Eye conversion? Did you just decide one day to just mess with it?
ever since I was a kid, I wanted to have. In Brazil, we have a really racial issue
Yeah.
during the 80s, and there was no black person toys.
Really?
Yeah, and still today, the black version Estrella produces today is a black face. It's the same like Hasbro did.
Yeah.
It's the same feature. There's no African feature nose and lips and stuff.
There's no
and
ethnic features at all, right? Nothing.
no ethnic features. And I was obsessed with it. And when I was a kid, we used to go to Uruguay, which is right beside where I live. Like it's a 7-hour drive. And they had the Italian GI Joe Negroes. No, Negroes. Sorry, it's a bad word. Black. I'm sorry about that. It's
fine.
There's no. Sorry, guys. Really. And this story is about how I love the African guys. The African figures. And I saw that, and I was like 10 years old, and my eyes popped, and I said, "Wow, there's a black G.I. Joe, a black Falcon," because I only knew Falcon. Yeah. And I asked my father, why is right G. Joey? I didn't know how to talk. Why is written G. Joey on the box? And he told me, I don't know. Do you want one? Yeah, sure, take it. And then my backyard playings were complete. I had to have the birded one, the non-birded one. I loved all this.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think, Hasbro, when they first started in the 1960s, they had those. It was just a skin tint, same head sculpt, skin tint. And then they came out with the Adventurer, the Black G.I. Joe Adventurer, and he had facial features. And that was probably one of the few toy companies at the time that were actually doing that, like giving a diverse mix of figures.
Yeah.
And then you had, I think one of the first ones I saw you do was the Stalker head from the Hall of Fame line.
Yeah,
you did an Eagle Eye of that one, I think, right?
I have. Where is it? My God! Oh man!
Like, are the eagle eye heads like super prevalent in Brazil? Because you probably, I don't know how many eagle eye heads you've used, right? Because you take an eagle eye head and you grind it down, right?
Oh yeah, no. Let me tell you how it started.
Shit.
I saw that movie with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta where they swap faces. You know,
Oh
face
yeah,
off.
yeah. Face off.
Yeah, I was watching that, and it stuck to my head. And could I make a face off with with the figures? And then I started. The first one I tried go to waste. It was just no. The second one looked really bad, and
Uh-huh.
I just dismantled it recently and did it again. And but by the fourth, I really got there, but because it's a matter of sending the donor head, you know, the Action Man head, and I'll explain why Action Man in a few moments. You have to send it perfectly,
Right.
you know, to remove every part that would deform, that would make the head be like that, or whatever, you know, any part that would deform the altar head. You have to be very careful, and you have to take your time, do it slowly and fast, and you have to send both directions, because you send the altar head from the inside, and you have to make it really thin here to fit. It's really it's a 5-hour job, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
And what
do you buy those off eBay down in Brazil? The heads?
I have this great friend, Ian Moore
Uh huh.
from UK. It's Eagle
Okay.
Eyes Action Station.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know who that guy is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he collects bikes too. You know, life-size bikes too. And
Really?
he's super cool. He's super cool. I wish I could visit him and you as well. And
Oh, that'd be awesome.
oh yeah, and he got this bins filled with what they called Action Man graveyard. So it's bits and parts, and there are a lot of heads that people cut the chin off, or the
Uh-huh.
nose, or just paint it like the weird Barbie and stuff, and they just ruin the head. It's impossible to restore it.
Wow.
And then he sells me really cheap just to clear out room, and I buy like 20,
Wow.
and I give these guys a second life.
That's
I make them
awesome.
look cool again. And this is something you're going to
Yeah,
like.
this dude right here. That guy, I've seen him. That guy's awesome.
I wanted to make a Atomic Man again. Why not black? Why
Yeah.
always
What?
white? You know.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't get it. I've
And
I've always wanted. That's awesome.
and this gave me a lot of trouble to make, because the eyes are not painted, or are decals.
Oh wow.
And I
Those
have
look so great.
yeah. Yeah,
You know.
after a while, I started painting, because it's really hard to glue this the
Oh
right way.
yeah. What kind of glue do you use? Do you use like super glue or?
Oh, I have here in Brazil. It's funny, we don't have the glue that I like the most, when I bought some in when I last went to the United States, is the Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really strong.
Yep.
And here in Brazil, if you ever come here, I'll show you some stuff. I use this one. It's
Okay.
Tech Bond.
Okay.
Do you have it there?
Maybe it's probably called something a little bit different. I know
Yeah.
one of the guys on the chat, Andy and Indy, he's familiar with a ton of materials. That guy does a ton of customs that are awesome.
But the trick here is that you never use this tip to apply the glue, because you
Okay.
will mess it. It will come out a big glob of it and ruin your piece.
So you just
So
spread it.
I have this my magic tools that are good for everything.
Yep.
I just drop a tiny drop here, and then I apply on the piece like this, and then it's perfect.
It's just such a cool custom. But man,
Yeah.
here in the States, to get an eagle eye head, they're like 40 or 50 bucks on eBay. And you're like,
It's very expensive.
yeah. So
Very
it's kind of
expensive.
funny how you look at other countries, you can find things that are super expensive here, and And then when you go to Brazil, you'll find stuff that's super expensive there that we get for dirt cheap here. And it's just like, it's so interesting.
Now, here in Brazil, I'm hated because I ruined to their vision. I ruined Eagle Eyes heads, even though they are already ruined. And I don't use Brazilian Eagle Eyes heads because they are very expensive.
Yeah,
I use Action Man, but I got criticized, and you know what?
we're a rare breed. We're all like I call them Frank and Joes. We just make something out of other things because all the toys that we wanted as kids, we never really could get.
Yeah.
And so we make our own. And you can still see that today if you watch some of these big time toy companies like Hasbro. You know, they're not going to really cater to the stuff that we want. That's why you have such a giant custom market, right?
Yeah. But do you know a lot of people dislike Hasbro, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
But I must say that, all right, the last years, they were not that collector friendly, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But their overall history of production is something to be proud of. You know, I'm not sucking up to them. I really not. But I would be proud to work there and do this kind of stuff. You know,
yeah.
The new small Joes, the same size as Black Series, the Star Wars.
Yep.
They look crazy cool.
They look really good. They're well tooled. They started off when they first launched that brand again, rebranded it. They were a little iffy at first, but they've really rebounded, and they've got so many competitors in the 6-inch scale too. There's so many people doing awesome stuff right now,
and that's the point. There's a lot of competition here nowadays in here in the world. I mean nowadays,
yeah,
and that's why I think Hasbro cannot afford to experiment so much as they did in the past.
Yeah,
because they were the only ones, basically. You know.
Now they've got all these different competitors like Valaverse and I can't remember who else makes military style figures. But you got Fresh Monkey Fiction, big there's a few other ones that are starting to do the 6-inch figures. You know, interesting. You mentioned Hasbro. I don't know if you're familiar with. We have a group here. I kind of created it. I don't know. I don't like to take credit for it because I don't like to take credit for anything because I'm just one of those, people. We created this thing called the Axis of Awesome, and it's a group of customizers and collectors, right? And I consider you part of that too. You know, because you're like one of the original people who inspired me. But we have this group called the Axis of Awesome, and it keeps growing. But there's a fella here in the States out east in Virginia named Paul Knapp. And Paul has a really cool live stream he does every Monday night, and he has some really good guests on there. And last week he had one of the designers from the 12-inch G.I. Joe line of the 90s and early 2000s, and it was really interesting. And that back then, the late 90s, early 2000s 1/6 scale boom was awesome. I loved all that. You know, there were some great figures that come out of that.
You know, I think the 12-inch market is somewhat less privileged than the others, but not that it is bad. But I think Hasbro just got too big for it. You know, they make so much money with Star Wars and the easy to make G.I. Joes that why do this too, you know? I think a medium-sized, not a small company, because then you have the cost effectiveness is so low. But a medium-sized company would do a better job because it would be their main field, you know.
Yeah, Cotswold Collectibles does a really good job with that. You know, their Elite Brigade line, you know, which you were a part of Cotswold for a while, and they do a great job of still making really cool stuff. I mean, I consider them to be like a boutique toy company where they just make small production runs.
Yes.
You know, and I love those guys. You know,
Greg is great.
He's great. I love Greg. I love Cotswold.
Real nice guy.
And if we didn't have them, you know, we'd be struggling right now in our community, I think.
Definitely. But, I think they're the last resource.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're it. I mean, there's really nobody else doing a lot of stuff. I mean, there's all the really expensive 1/6 scale stuff that
You
you
know
can
that
buy.
in a way, we are. And when I say we, it's me and Greg. We are so together, and in the other way, so apart.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
because the idea of having naked figures that you're going to do whatever you want. You can dress any way you want. You can do whatever you want, and you have Caucasian and you have African and stuff. This is awesome. This is what I like. You know, I like that. I create the adventures. I don't need a company to tell me how to play. I don't need that. I'm
right.
not impaired. And so we are really together there. But as taste wise, he is more conservative than me.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
likes we had huge talkings like and he used to say to me, "Oh, lose the purple, lose this, lose that. It's green, olive green." And it was like that. It's funny. It's funny.
yeah. I'm I'm out there on a lot of stuff too. I've gotten more out there on, like, I shouldn't say out there, out, like you say, outside the box, creating
Mm,
more stuff. And one of the reasons I started my YouTube channel is because I was part of all those Facebook GI Joe groups for a long time, and they were just kind of so stagnant to me. Like, everybody
Oh,
was
yeah.
either like authentic GI Joe or this or that, and they just didn't jive with me. So I just up and left everything. I left Facebook, and then I launched my own YouTube channel and started doing what I wanted to do. Started making my
It,
own photo stories, making my own videos, and I still do that. And I love people who comment and stuff, but as far as suggestions go, I don't really read a lot of suggestions because I just do what makes me happy, kind of like what you're doing right now,
Yeah, of course. We already have to work. We already have to do a lot of stuff. Take care of our families, and we cannot even enjoy ourselves
No.
a little. Some a few hours a week. And it happened to me on a. I don't remember the group, but it was something like I mixtured GI Joe or Action Man elements with a Max Steel, and I always used to list my ingredients on the custom. And the guy said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he was very polite, and it was okay because the group was his, and it's okay. Now he's the boss. But he wrote me, "Oh, I had to delete your post because this is a Action Man only group." And and but the best sentence is that, like, we have to draw the line somewhere, so something like that. And I mean, draw the line on fun. I mean, you have
Yeah.
rules to play, really. And I was really disappointed because this is not serious.
No.
These are toys. These
No,
are
they're not.
plastic. This, I mean, chemically speaking, this is the same as a plastic bucket to play with sand on the beach.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So this is nothing. This is just
They're
what makes
toys.
it great is that we like them. But
Yeah.
my wife doesn't care. She says to me, "Now, when you die, I'm going to give all this away."
Yeah.
I don't, so it's okay. It's just for our own amusement.
Yeah.
Let me show you more stuff.
I tell myself that's part of the reasons why I had a little boy so late in life, is because I needed somebody to will all my stuff to. But yeah, you're totally right about a lot of these people that take it too serious. I wanted to, one of these days, and I still might do it, but it's probably not good. But I wanted to do a YouTube show and read all the comments, the really terrible comments I used to get when I first started my channel.
Oh, the hate mail.
All the
This is
hate
good.
mail, and just read all that. And I used to address it a little bit in my videos, but now I don't even do it anymore because it's not even worth it. But that's the best part about this YouTube channel for me, and it just allows me to really express myself and who I am as a person, because I don't get to do that very much in my real life job.
Sure.
So are you thinking about getting back on and doing more videos on your YouTube channel?
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Yes.
It was a great channel.
Yeah, and I love to do that.
Yeah.
I just it was a lot of work, but I want to. It's all a matter that I. It's always a matter of how many hours you invest and what you get back. To keep doing it. So I ask people, share this post, share, like it,
Yeah.
help me to. I don't get I don't get any money back
Yeah.
still. No, not even 1 cent of a dollar.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching stuff for free.
Yeah.
Can't you even like and share?
Yeah. That's hard.
I'm giving you a class for free.
It's the hardest thing about YouTube.
So yeah,
I feel you. I feel you on that. Yeah, I do a lot of. I mean, I put out probably 2 videos a week, sometimes 3, because I do a beer review every once in a while.
That is a lot. That is a lot of work, man.
But I do it really quick, though. I don't. A lot of these guys I find on YouTube spend a lot of time on production and all these other things because they're probably getting paid and whatever. I just go out there and just throw stuff together. I hardly edit anything. That's just who I am. And I'm going to stay that way for as long as I can.
No, I edit, to make a 15-minute video of a class, you gotta have 6 hours of shooting.
Yeah. Your camera works great when you do your customs. Because I've watched several of your videos over and over again.
Thank you.
They're great. The hair sculpting one. I've taken a lot of the stuff you've done and used it,
since you talked about hair sculpting, let me show you something.
Let's show some customs.
Yeah, people are bored. People are bored. Let's go.
We got a lot of guys in the chat. We have some really great people in the chat that I love,
Do you have any if you have any questions, let me know. I can see them.
Ask away, guys, and we'll answer anything we can.
Okay. Are you aware that in France there was an Eagle Eyes female G.I. Joe, the group Action Joe? No. So be prepared, my friend. Okay, this. I bought this one, and the hair was so horrible that, and it came. The figure is bald, with a wig, with a blonde wig, like a Barbie. It's like this. This is called. This is called Jane, Eagle Eyes Jane, from Group Action Joe. And it's really Eagle Eyes, and it's original. Okay.
So she was a real Eagle Eyes. You didn't make that one.
She's a real thing. She was a real thing. That's really cool, Really cool.
How rare is that?
Oh, I pay $100 for just the head with the horrible wig.
Whoa.
Awesome. No, it's 100 with shipping, but still, it's shipping was to my cousin that he lived in France, and he bought it to me.
That's awesome. You have all these connections all over everywhere.
Oh man, I'm like the CIA of action figures.
I love that. I have no connection. You're probably the only person, maybe people in Canada that I kind of communicate with on the regular outside. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's a couple of people in Brazil, like Carlo from Easy 16 makes all the 3D printed heads.
Oh, he's awesome. He's a great guy.
He's done 2 really cool things for me that are top secret projects for next year. And then Sydney from Grunga Toys.
Oh, this is my friend. This is my personal friend. We made a deal, and he took over production, and I introduced him to everyone. He's a gifted sculptor.
I wondered about that. I wondered about if you guys were together. I never asked you about that because I didn't know, and that's great.
We are I want to
keep going. Yeah, sorry
about
that. Keep going.
And then I'll tell you about Sydney. Just so before I forget. So the hair was horrible.
Okay.
So I sculpted. I thought about Playmobil when you can exchange hairs.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, and I made this epoxy putty wigs.
Wow. So how did you do that?
This is removable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you put a bond breaker on the head.
Yeah. A really tight plastic.
Oh, okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, like a film. Like those food films.
Yeah.
And then I sculpted first this generic format. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
And then I removed the plastic and I fit it again, and I sculpt the characteristics, the features. And okay, I did one more, and it's really fun to play, you know.
Wow, that looks really good.
Yeah, and
That looks like
there,
almost like it was sculpted on the actual head.
and there's also the black power.
Did you sculpt an afro? That's
Yeah, baby.
great. That looks like that samurai guy from Cartoon Network back in the day. I can't
Yeah,
remember the name
or
of that guy.
do you watch Brooklyn 99? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Yep. Hilarious.
Peralta's friend, you know,
That's
Peralta's
great.
friend,
That's great.
that guy.
So do you mold those too? Can you mold them and
Yes.
cast them?
I first I made it like this,
Wow.
and then I sculpted it with my and really people that are starting. It's really simple if you give yourself time and you work hard. I only use these 3 tools.
So those are your sculpting tools.
Yeah, and okay, this
and just your not standard
this
little,
plain knife. It's a spatula, whatever. So I make this girl, and it's much better than the
terrible wig,
the saggy wig and whatever. I like to innovate, and I think this would be a great figure for little girls that are going through chemotherapy.
Yep.
And they lost their hair, and maybe it helps them to accept the wigs.
I love
they
that.
can have many wigs. So what I'm doing now is more prototypes and marketing oriented figures.
Yeah.
So this idea, I have Big Joe.
Big Joe is awesome,
and it was a lot of time, a lot of work.
Big Joe, when you first put Big Joe out there, I was like, oh my gosh, Big Joe's awesome. Now, did you sculpt all that?
Yes.
And cast all that for that figure?
I used Hasbro parts from the vintage G.I. Joe, and I used underneath this big belly is a muscle lifelike body chest. Okay. And then I went. It took me check the boobs.
Yeah, I call that the American body.
and what's cool is that the belly is hollow, so the guy can see it. You know.
Oh wow! So what inspired you to make that the Big Joe? Because that's such a nobody would ever think to make a bigger body Joe like that.
I think. And this just a curiosity. This is an original J. Joe head. Yeah. That I sculpted. The only deformity here is the beard. Yeah. So I made it look like the guy's fat. Yeah. But he's not fat at all. Yeah.
No.
I just rounded the features and just I forgot the word. I just squashed his face. Yeah. Because when you do something wider, it looks fatter. When you do something more vertical, it looks thinner. So I use this.
Squashed him down.
I had the idea because I was making some humor directed figures for my Instagram show. Yeah. And I wanted to have a fat guy because why not? You know, not to make fun of the fat guy, but we are fat. You know, I'm 50. You know, I have my gut.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I have my boobies, you know. What's wrong with that? So
I work out 6 days a week, and I fight that all the time. But you know, it's who I am. I'm an old guy. I mean, I got a little chubby on me now.
I try to fight, but when I see a pizza, oh my god.
Me too. Well, yeah, I'm there. Pizza, cheeseburger.
I wanted to bring diversity, and
I like it.
And there's this question in me all the time. Why not?
Yeah,
Why everything must be the same for I mean, GI Joe is 1964, so we are talking 6 decades.
yeah,
Why everything must be always the same? This is tiresome.
it is tiresome. And you bring up a really good point. Lyle, I don't know if you know Lyle Kozak. He used to be in our GI Joe groups on Facebook, and he's since left there, and he has his own YouTube channel now. And he kind of left 1/6 scale and got into the 6-inch figures. But Lyle, back a long time ago, him and I, um, we love Adventure People, the Fisher Price figures. And
Hmm.
my favorite figure of the Adventure People line was, I think he was an American Indian or a Native American. I don't know what we call that now, but he's a Native American. He has a stocking cap. And I always thought, I was bounce this back with Lyle. Do you remember when Hasbro had the talking
The
Navajo code,
Navajo.
Navajo code talker, to take that head sculpt and redo it a little bit and make a Native American member of the GI Joe Adventure team? But the only thing I ran into is the skin tone, because the Hasbro bodies are a really light Caucasian skin tone, so you would need
Yes.
more of a redder skin tone. And I'm like, how I've always wanted to do that, and that would just be having a Native American member of my adventure team is one of my dreams. You know,
I think this is great. I think that's how it should be.
yeah,
That I think that this is the lack of diversity. I think it enrages people and distance them from the and gives people the wrong idea that there is a big group that commands the world. No, no, no. Let's represent ourselves the way we are and try to live together in peace. Come
I
on, man.
agree. The more I love adding all different types of figures to my collection, like everything. And I'm even introducing aliens now. I got some alien figures now in my collection.
Ah, show me yours. I'll show you mine.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Thinking about sculpting. Well, you've got your alien figure. Yeah, I'm making one right now. Whoa!
This I just assembled for you for the show today, but it's not ready. But
Holy smokes!
it's really tall. Let me get a max steel for reference. This is also a
Whoa!
flocking job I did, but you can see here how tall it is.
Did you sculpt that head?
Yes, I used a human head and I added some features.
Wow! Did you sculpt what's the body? Is that
The
a muscle
body,
body?
okay. This is a max steel torso
Wow.
that I completely redesigned on the outside. These are lifelike biceps.
Okay.
This is the lifelike lower arm, elongated. And here I added magnets because
Yeah.
since the hand is rigid, I will use this as support for equipment.
Yeah.
They will use like wrist stuff. Like
I've been
the
using
aliens,
magnets a little
they do
more.
like this, like Space Ghost.
Right.
And so I elongated the lower arms. The hand I made from scratch with
Oh, wow. Putty.
wire and epoxy putty.
Wow. Man, that's cool.
And this is another figure that I consider, and the trunks. The beauty of it is that I consider this prototype too, because the trunk was modified to fit the chest, and the chest was made to fit perfectly the Elite Brigade body.
Oh, wow.
So my idea is find some way to produce it with a associate, a friend, whatever,
Yeah.
and the set will be the chest,
Uh-huh.
the neck pulse, the head, and the lower arms and hands. So it's going to be cheaper because my goal is to make quality, affordable stuff.
You ever get that in production, you can go ahead and sign me up. That's an
Oh,
awesome figure.
definitely.
Yeah.
And,
My
and
alien is one, I think I messaged you. This is one you inspired me to do, is my Firestar 1 figure, where I took a Buzz Lightyear body And I put the
Wow.
Bullet Man, Bullet Man head on it.
That's a figure I said the best ever.
Yeah, thank you. That's probably my best custom ever. I love this guy.
It's like the adventure people from
Yep.
Fisher Price.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
love
yeah,
those guys too. I love the black robot with hands,
yeah. I
weird
like these
hands.
Buzz Lightyear bodies because they're super cheap. I mean, you get these
Yeah.
for like $8, and you can. I
Wow.
did. I just took the Bullet Man head and molded it.
The
and just
head
threw it on there.
fitted. The head fit perfectly.
Yeah, it worked out great. It
And the
took me a
white
while to
hair.
think about it, but I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
let me show you an advancement that I implemented on the Max Steel legs.
Okay.
Magnets.
Yeah. I think you and I talked about that because you were
Yeah.
showing some pictures of different size GI Joes, and I saw your Intruder. You
Oh,
had
I have something here
Oh.
that will get you going. Let me show you the small guy first. Ready? Okay. And I'm pairing them by the feet, so you can see the difference on the head. So
he's a little guy. I
He-
like that.
he's like Wolverine.
Yeah, well, yeah. Wolverine's Wolverine's a small guy. That's what makes me mad
Yeah.
about the movie.
He did this is Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
Like
that's
Joe
great.
Pesci style.
Is that guy
this
a villain?
Really what?
Is he a villain? The guy there in your hand, is he a bad guy?
No, I wanted to make him like an anti-hero, like
I
Wolverine.
like it.
And he is egoist too. And this is a beautiful Cotswold head.
Yeah, Cotswold has some cool heads.
And the flocking is from my great friend Flockwheel, and this guy has magnets on his legs.
So the magnets work pretty well then.
Yes, but you have I learn as I go. I had to replace some magnets because when I sculpt, when I use too much epoxy, the head becomes heavy, and the magnet doesn't work. So you have always. I will try to translate from kilos to pounds, but I'm using for the thighs 4 pounds strained magnets.
Okay, so I know what you're saying. I just bought some magnets probably 2 or 3 months ago that were pretty strong for a project I was doing.
I'm going to make a video about that. The next,
great.
Yeah, I'm going to spoil alert here. I'm going to make the next video is about making a whole figure with magnets, and I won't say here a twist. There's a surprise.
Oh, great!
Because it's about diversity too.
Awesome.
But it's a figure with magnets. This is what I do.
Okay.
So
you got the rod.
I use this part, two small parts on each part, and right in the middle to strengthen the tension.
Yeah.
I put right in the middle, and here and on the video I will explain this a lot. But let me show you the Intruder.
Oh yeah,
so
man.
That's what I did. So now it's going to be really easy to visualize.
Oh wow.
So this my fat fingers. Okay. So this is the X-ray vision. You see?
Yep.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Cool. when you first posted those, I had to go up to my figure storage and see if I had any of those old Action Man, Hasbro style bodies like that. And I've got one. One of these, I have an Intruder head I bought a while back. So I'm trying to figure out my own Intruder custom one of these days, maybe next year. But I love those.
And I wanted to make this is a Power Team Peacekeepers, which is a knockoff. And,
yeah.
Oh, and this is the foot.
The foot just magnet. Yeah, great.
With a magnet
That's such
ball.
a great idea. I love it.
So it really. But okay, this I won't change, but this is too weak to hold the body. It
Yeah.
doesn't hold any position without the boots. With the
Uh-huh.
boots, works perfect.
Yeah.
But what I try to do here is make the fat biceps
Yeah.
like
Muscly.
the intruder,
Yeah.
like a beast like body, just to celebrate that original body that doesn't move
Doesn't do
well at
anything.
all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I want to show you something I've sculpted. Okay, so check this. This is the original head, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, this is a resin copy.
Yep.
This is what I did.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so dope, man. That's awesome. Look at that.
So I came from
Oh
this
man.
to this.
Dude, and that's so cool looking. That is going to be
Oh,
awesome.
and
That
I
is
have to
great.
paint it, and I've sculpted over a max steel body. I've sculpted muscles.
Yeah.
This is whole. This is all epoxy beauty. The
Wow.
biceps. It's all epoxy beauty. It's
Wow.
not. There's no max steel here anymore.
That is awesome looking.
Yeah, it's just a guy really butch, you know.
How many hours did that take you?
Oh, this was a come and go, you know, like 4
Yeah.
hours,
Yeah.
4 hours, but each day, the left boob, right boob, you know,
Yeah.
the belly, in very very small quantities. Oh, that's a curiosity. This is what I use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have this there?
Yep.
Yeah.
I use that. I have some epoxy. I have Loctite epoxy. I have a few different epoxies I use on stuff. I use a lot of Gorilla Glue, but yeah, I have a lot of different glues as well.
Do you use Vaseline to sculpt?
No, I don't. What do you use
No?
it for?
Oh, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
There is probably you notice that there is a time when the epoxy you use water, of course.
Yeah, for my milk. Yeah, water to smooth it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's this time when it becomes sticky, you know.
It does.
Starts to attach to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So to prevent that, just a little bit of Vaseline, and you can even because it happens when the paste is getting hard.
Uh-huh.
So you can really press it now without it sticking to your hand.
Interesting. I'll have to remember that because I do have that problem. I use when I do a lot of sculpting. So I'm kind of like you. I make a lot of original type sculpts. Just I'll grab like aluminum foil, wad it up, and then like you've probably seen this my abominable snowman I made.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sculpted this guy completely out of what's it called? A Sculpey. So clay, and you bake it in the oven.
Oh yeah, super scoopy.
Yeah, yeah. So I made his hands, his feet,
man.
and this is all this is a complete wire skeleton wrapped in foil, masking tape, and then I coated him in a contact
This is a
cement.
wire skeleton?
Yeah, he's got a wire skeleton, so he can bend. So,
wow.
So I take like wire, like probably I can't remember what gauge I use. I just get it at a hardware store. Then I put it in the drill and just thread it or braid it, and then cut it. And then you can buy this stuff off Amazon. It comes in these plastic cards, and you heat them up with a heat gun, and then you can mold it. I can't remember what it's called, but I take that plastic and then I build the skeleton and just put the heated plastic on the joints to hold them in place.
Oh yeah, it's I know as dentist plastic. You know?
Something like that. Yeah, you can get several of them for like $12. So I use those, build the skeleton out, and then I just take the foil and hot glue and build out the musculature of the body.
I never used those.
This thing
looks
huge.
Amazing.
It's 18 inches. I think it's 15 inches tall.
I did mine too.
Yes. What's that guy called?
Oh, it doesn't have a name, but I thought of, you know, the vampire gorillas from Jupiter, you know, like 50s
That's so great.
style.
I
and
love that guy.
and this is a Blanca head.
That guy's so cool. Did you make the vest?
The vest is GI Joe.
Oh, okay.
It's modern GI Joe, and my friend Donnelly just installed the light.
That's so cool, man.
And what I mostly sculpt the head and make it eagle eyes, but the rest of it is group effort. Flock Wheel, Donnelly, and
Yeah.
stuff.
There's so many of us right now too. It's so great to be
It,
in this group. It really is. It's super fun right now.
yes, it
And
is.
for anybody getting started too, I always tell everybody, like, don't be intimidated by it. The process is the most fun, because creating something and then kind of failing, going back and redoing it over and over again.
Let
It
me
really
show you
helps
something
you.
about this. When I first started, I had 20/20 vision. Okay, I was and I thought I was losing my game, but no. When I got these glasses,
I
I
know, I'm there.
I regained my strength. I'm
Yeah.
better now. And you are correct. Never be intimidated, because
No.
it takes time. I'm better now than I was 20 years ago. 10
Yeah.
years ago, I'm better now.
You're always trying to grow and get better as a customizer. And
It just takes time, and don't be intimidated by criticism.
no,
Steve Jobs has this great line: "People criticizing you will always be doing less.
oh yeah,
Your critics are always doing less than what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah, I
You will
agree.
never be
Also,
criticized by people doing more."
and comparing your stuff to other people's is never good. I always tell everybody, comparison. I heard this line too: comparison is the thief of joy. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my son makes a drawing of something, and he tells me what it is, and I'm like, it probably doesn't look like what I think it should look like, but I'm like, man, that's great. He's super creative. I love that about him.
Oh,
He's
that's
really
awesome, man.
creative, and I he I hope he keeps it up. I try to foster that in him as much as I can, but
And you are
I
right.
just I love it. I love it all. I love it
And
all.
let me talk about Sydney. You asked.
Okay, yeah,
We are very different. We are very different, because what I have abundantly is creativity. Sometimes I have so many characters in my head that I can't do anything, because it's crowded.
yeah,
But I am not a sculptor as talented as Sydney. Sydney is, well, I guess, like with Easy 1/6, these guys are the best of Brazil. These guys are the Brazilians' best. But Sydney is more of, because maybe he's Japanese, so he's more a method person. He's
uh-huh.
very straight, like no detours, straight. So I help him with my creativity, and he helps me with his sculpting. I want to show something that Sydney did. He made me. I could never do that. This is a Max Steel Ultra Body. I could never have done this as gracefully and as perfect as Sydney did.
Is that you?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
a bit tougher though.
But yeah. That's your younger self, right?
Yeah, that's my alter ego. I'm Bruce Wayne. This is Batman.
That is a great figure.
Yeah, and I could never have done that, but there's no reason to compete with Sydney, because we still talk today, and we
Yeah.
do stuff together, and we are preparing big things. But I help him, and we talk, and I say, have you ever wondered making this figure and this head and like this and like that, and oh yeah, I never thought of it. Thank you.
I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first I think I bought Sydney's $6 million man outfit from Cotswold, and it was great. And then I was just sitting there one day, and I messaged him on Instagram, and I said, "Hey, man." And we started going back and forth, and I sent him, I'll tell you exactly what I sent him. Do you remember that movie from the early 80s here in the United States called Megaforce? Remember that terrible movie? They had the orange or the gold jumpsuits. If you haven't never seen it, look it up. I know some
I've
of the
never
people in
seen
the comments will. It's called Megaforce.
Megaforce.
And I told Sydney, I said, dude, you should do some gold Megaforce jumpsuits. And we went back and forth, and I don't know if he ever will, but I think those would be awesome. I love that show. But he's cool. I love messaging him. Just I'll think of something off the top of my head, and I just love. He'll send me. He showed me his Tarzan figure before he really sent it over here, and it was just like, wow, it's super cool.
Tarzan is perfect.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like the vintage drawing is alive in 3D. It's perfect.
It looks like almost like the cartoon from the 70s, It's just so cool looking.
He's completely undervalued here in Brazil. People should praise him more. Really.
He just does some really, really cool stuff. And I can't wait to see what he has in the future. Now, Carlo, he's awesome. He's got
Carlo is fast. Every week there's a new head.
Oh my God, he does them all. He's got people I would have never think like. I can't believe somebody wanted a head sculpt to that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Carlo is crazy, man.
You guys are all so talented down there. That's what I think I love about Brazil and I'm pretty new to it. You're the first person I really ever talked to from down there when we used to chat all the time. But the Falcon stuff is really, really cool. All the customizers are just so awesome.
Sydney was the first guy ever to reach out to me when I make the first Loucoporbonecos.
Really?
It was the first one. Yeah, and I'm talking to 2001. Really? September 2001.
Huh. That's a long time ago.
And we've been friends ever since.
Huh. So let me ask you this. Do you collect anything else besides the 1/6 scale stuff still?
Well, if I could, really now in Brazil I'm changing careers and stuff, so I'm a little short in cash.
Yeah.
So my wife says, I want you to keep buying this broken stuff and because you have a lot of fun playing with this and making something new, than just spending a lot of money on the store.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of stuff here in Brazil. Yeah. It's very restricted. But what I would like to buy are some, if I could collect right now, the small G.I. Joe figures, but not all of them. Just Mutt and the guy with the Jeep, very little, and the new superpowers stuff.
Yeah, the new superpower stuff's really cool.
The first one were kind of not there yet, but now they're really getting in the right place.
Yeah.
But I do not consider myself a collector. I'm only a customizer because I don't have any. I never had any collection completed in my life. Never.
Yeah, probably me neither.
Never. And I have so much fun, buying broken stuff and turning them into something cool.
That's what I do. I love buying broken stuff and making new stuff.
This is my way of playing because I can't play. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't have that ability that kids have. But that's my playing now. And I have a lot of fun doing it.
My playing is making photo stories for my YouTube channel. Like I'll go out.
Yeah.
My wife will laugh. I'll tell her like, it'd be like a Saturday morning, and I'll be like, she's like, "What are you doing today?" I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna go out to the lake, and take some photos." Like last Saturday, I took my Super Joe figure from the jumpsuit I got for you, and a new Super Joe that I made, and a bunch of other figures, and went 20 minutes away to this beach. And I pulled up. The beach is closed for the winter. This little girl comes out, and she's like, "Yeah, can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I would like to use your beach today to take some action figure photos." And she just looked at me, and then I explained to her what I was doing. She's like, "Yeah, go ahead," And I went out there for 3 hours and did a photo story, and that's what I enjoy doing. So it's so fun, man.
Yeah,
I love it all. I love every part of this. And
me too.
Sometimes I get burnt out like you, and I got to take a break. But it's so fun. I I can't wait to see what you come up with in 2024 because I'm so happy that you're back doing this stuff again. You know,
I really wish I could do more stuff, and I'm still looking for business partners
yeah,
in USA, because to do this, to do what I'm doing here in Brazil, and I talk a lot with Sydney about that. It's not rewarding here,
yeah,
and it's part of my business plan. You know, Big Joe in the United States, it would cost uh, $50 tops with shipping included. You know, it's
hmm
a headless figure, naked.
yeah,
Okay, but it would never cost more than that.
yep,
But if I produce it here, it will get to you for $100,
yeah.
and it won't sell because shipping is too expensive.
Shipping's too
So
expensive.
I wish I could do more. I
Yeah,
truly wish I could do more. I wonder myself what I could accomplish without restrictions. You know,
yeah,
if I could run wild.
yeah. How is your search going for that right now? Have you made any beach? Have you got anything established or found anybody who might be interested?
No, not at all. Not at
Hmm.
all. I
I was
think I
thinking about
think
that.
it's the economy, I guess. You know,
Yeah, I think
people
you're
are
right.
uncertain, and because I wouldn't. My business plan is I want to open a Kickstarter,
Uh
you
huh.
know, funding,
Yep.
and do anything only if I can get the money. Produce it in China or Vietnam or whatever,
Yep.
and have it delivered to USA and do the toy shows. It would be a thing, you know, selling by mail, you know,
Uh huh.
shipping by mail, but making all the toy shows every 2 months. There is one.
Yep.
So it would be a really crazy road trip with Big Joe and stuff.
I think it's definitely possible. And I think you're right. I think the economy is kind of a hold off for people, and just finding somebody who really
Yeah,
shares your passions, something as well. You know,
yeah.
um,
I'm still working. I'm still trying, and
I
whenever I
think you'll
can.
find it.
Uh,
It's kind of weird how stuff like that works out. Is like
yeah,
it seems like when you're not looking, it finds you. Kind of, you know. That's
I
kind of how
hope
I
so.
feel about a lot of things. I think that if I always find if you try to force things, it becomes super difficult. But if you just do your thing, I just feel in my heart that it always finds you. You know, that's what
I
I believe.
believe
I don't know if
you.
that's true or not, but you
No,
know,
I believe you, and I agree with you. I mean, I'll keep doing my best,
yeah.
and whatever happens, I'll try to deal with it.
Well, we need you. We need you still doing the cool stuff because I think it just inspires. Speaking for myself, it inspires me, and I know a lot of these other guys that are on here
Oh,
follow you.
I have more stuff to show.
Keep going. I got plenty of time. Show
And
away.
I like to show my crazy ideas that are funny. Wait, just a minute.
Okay.
I'm back. As well as with the fat guy, I wonder a extremely strong guy,
Okay. Yep.
but with a flexible body, and I make this guy,
Oh yeah, I saw that guy.
which
That
is also
outfit is
also
really
equalized.
cool. Did you sew that outfit?
No, I made it for my Miracle Man family set.
That's it. It looks like a Miracle Man outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the kid Miracle Man,
Yeah, that is great.
but I think it would work. And the thing is, this is a Elite Brigade body,
Okay.
believe it or not. And
Wow.
I turned this flea market crap
Yeah.
on let's say a coat, an armor to put inside the suit.
No, really?
Yeah, I just cut it. I had
Cut
I
it
had
out and just cord it all
several
out.
of these. Yeah, because and I had a couple of these because it's really cheaper. It's like $1.50,
Yeah.
and and I made the thighs and the biceps and the chest.
That guy's built. That
And the
guy's
guy's
on that
really,
guy's on the sauce is what we say over here.
it's really crazy, you know. I like this unusual stuff, you
I
know.
do too. I like all that type of stuff that you make.
And
The superhero types inspired stuff.
are you familiar with Man from Uncle,
Oh yeah. Oh
Gilbert
yeah.
Toys?
I know. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember this guy. Yep. And you get Eagle Eye.
yeah.
Yep. That's awesome.
And here I also took my time to fix, because the original is a little bit bubbly, right?
Uh-huh.
Like a bubblehead,
Yeah. He's
like
kind of
this, you
goofy
know.
looking. Yeah.
And I've increased the 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 jaw area. No,
Uh-huh.
the jaw. Yeah, no,
Yeah. Yeah. Jawline.
the jawline,
Yeah.
to make it less bubbly head.
Wow.
So
That is.
it looks cooler, tougher than the original.
He looks very, very serious.
Yeah. I also made an eagle eyes out of a mango Spock and painted blue.
Yeah, I've seen that guy. That guy's really, really cool looking. And he's on a muscle body, right?
Yes.
That guy's awesome. That
It
guy's
really looks cool with the muscle body, right?
when you get your other alien done, those two together could be an awesome team. Yeah, that's so cool. Like you make your own Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it could be an interplanetary conference or something.
I love that. That guy is super cool looking.
Yeah, I just love this head.
Now, what head's that from?
It's a Migo Spock.
Migo Spock, a big Migo Spock, right?
Yeah, the 12-inch one from Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
I would have never thought about using something like that. It fits perfect.
It is tricky though, because you have to you have to heat the vinyl to make the eagle eyes fit better. And it was a lot of that. A lot of times I did that. I've heated and I let the mechanism rest inside to take the shape.
Right.
So the outer head, the external head, will take the shape, will mold it to accept the mechanism. I did that like 10 times. I heated and waited and heated and waited. There was a lot of that.
Did you heat it with hot water or glue gun or a heat gun? What did you use?
No, my wife's blow dryer.
Oh, you used a blow dryer. Okay.
Yeah.
So it heats it up enough.
Yeah. After it was painted, I used a blow dryer. But before it was painted, I used hot water.
Well, I love that.
So and this material is tricky because it's hard. It's somewhat hard and dusty when you cut it. So you have to heat it to cut the eye holes, the eye sockets. You have to heat it and be very precise, because it may break and get a tiny hole or a tiny imperfection on the head.
You know, you could I know that's an eagle eye, but I'm just like, I see all these head sculpts that you've made. Like, you could almost, you cast and molded a head for me with the red claw. That red claw is awesome. I mean, I'm so lucky to have that. But you could those heads look. You could almost sell just those heads, and people would probably buy those things up.
Yes, this is part of what I would like to do. With the Big Joe.
Yeah,
is that you could choose your head, and maybe in the future. I just don't do that now because it's very expensive to 3D scan the heads. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
And after people buy it, they can make as many as they want,
right.
And you will never get your money back.
Yeah.
So it's like here it's like $2,000 to 3D scan the whole body, I guess.
Yeah, and I notice a lot more people here in the States are doing 3D scan stuff, and for the little figures now more than anything. Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, but what's he called?
Oh, this is Microman.
Microman.
Yeah, this is a tribute to the Micronauts line.
The Henshin cyborgs. I love Henshin cyborgs. I love them.
And I wanted to do something totally battery free. There's no wire. There's nothing. If you were a kid, You can soak it in water and play.
Right.
It will never get ruined because it's see-through
I love
here.
that. That's
It's
super
see-through.
cool.
And
Something.
you have the panels here to exchange.
Yeah. Something, Felipe, I really would like to see somebody do. I love the muscle body. Like, I really like the way the old muscle body looks in clothing. I wish somebody, and
Me too.
if I was more talented, if I did 3D design, which I don't. I mean, what's funny is I work with I do AutoCAD design all day. I do roadway design and bridge design. So I do some 3D modeling, but not like 3D sculpting type modeling. I do 3D industrial modeling.
Yeah,
but
it's different.
Way different. Yeah. I would love to see somebody take that muscle body platform, redesign the elbows and the knees to make a triple joint, just a simple triple joint, and just produce a brand new muscle body, same muscle body, but with better articulation. And you'd have, I think, a perfect body.
But do you know that's my love project? If I ever could work for Hasbro at HasLab, and I would make the first ever African American Eagle Eyes figure with a brand new muscle body. That's my dream project.
Sell a ton of them.
And it would look perfect. An Eagle Eyes with African features.
Yep.
and a strong body with very resistant joints. The first thing I've learned with Falcon was how to open the body to replace the inside rubbers that always come to dust. Always. That's I learned to customize Falcons and 12 inches by fixing it.
Fixing them. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I love to try to customize the muscle bodies. I find that they're really easy to customize. Peter from the Skull Review, Peter Butler, he figured out to take those Blue Box Toys Elite Force figure arms on the more muscly figure. He figured out, I think last year before, you can take those and they fit perfectly on the muscle body torso. So it gives them more of a muscly arm.
Yeah.
And then I used that, and then I actually took the muscle body or the Blue Box legs and figured out I can string those into a muscle body, and you can get super articulated legs and arms with the torso and waist. And it's just like, I love that figure. I've made 3 of them. I have the parts to make 2 more, but it's so hard. Those bodies are expensive now to get.
They're very expensive. They're very rare now.
And you're gonna break them too. You're gonna. Yeah.
Oh, but I do break stuff. I do
too.
I love it.
I always laugh. I joke with Peter, and I can joke with you. Like, whenever any of us come up with a brand new design, just get on eBay and watch the price of those go up, because everybody's buying them now to do their own customs, and you're like, shit, I just raised the price of these bodies.
Well, definitely. I'm looking. Oh, do you know what I'm looking for? I even enter a Migo group on Facebook. I want to make Eagle Eyes out of that Lenny and Swiggy from Laverne and Shirley show.
Oh yeah, the 2 guys.
Yeah, do you know, guy? There's one like is this, and the one is.
Yep.
I want to make Eagle Eyes out of these guys, and I'm looking for these heads.
How readily available was Migo in Brazil? Pretty available?
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all. No, not at all. Because at that time Brazil was under a very cruel dictatorship.
Back in the 70s?
Yeah, from 1974 to 1989.
Really?
Yes. And only top of the ladder rich people could have fancy stuff.
Really?
When I was a kid, this is funny because for you Americans, this is unthinkable. I remember going to the supermarket, and we had one toothpaste brand, and one shampoo brand, and one rinse cream brand.
That's it?
So, yeah, that's it. There was Colorama. It's called, and it's still going today. It's Colorama, and there's only Colorama. And then slowly, wow, now we have 2 brands. Whoa, that's big. And after the we had a very crazy present in the 90s. It's called Fernando Collor de Mello. And he was crazy and a lot crazy. I won't be specific here. But he opened our market like never before. So from like that, we had everything for a while. We had cheap GI Joe stuff, and everything was cheap. $1 was like one real, which is our currency. One real, and everything was cheap and stuff. And after that, things just went south. But and he was crazy. He was not a great present, but he gave us this. We had imported cars. We only had four brands of cars in Brazil. It was
Really?
It was General Motors, Ford, Volkswagen, and Fiat.
Fiat from France, yeah.
It's only 4 brands.
It
was really weird
over here.
And Mego, we only had in Brazil regarding toys what Estrela and Gulliver and Glasslight would import or license. We had Thundercats made by Glasslight with cheaper plastic, and they're really not good. And Star Wars made by Glasslight, and Glasslight went down. And Gulliver is almost dying, Estrella is okay.
Yeah, they've got a lot of Falcon stuff they're still producing. Does that sell very well there? All their new Falcon sets?
No.
They're really expensive here. I mean, like to get them here, I mean they're really expensive.
That's why I will not produce Big Joe here. They're not expensive. It's shipping. I'll break down the math for you. One Falcon here costs from $60 to $90, not more than that.
Okay.
Whatever extra you pay is some profit, okay? Some profit. But let's say $150, now $150 Falcon on eBay. eBay charges 15%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
eBay gets a big cut, Brazilian shipping, $45 because the boxes are too big, $45. So keep adding. And then you have PayPal. We have no friends. This is very hard to explain to outside from people from other countries. We have no friends and family free of charge method.
Like we do here, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, your mom sends you money, 8%. So you have 15% eBay, 8% PayPal, $45 shipping. That's why the figure is expensive. And Hasbro prohibited Estrella of selling it directly in the United States because the Falcon belongs, the body, the patent belongs to Hasbro. So they said, you can produce it and sell it in Brazil. If you ever open a business office here, we will go to the court and we will destroy you. So it's something that's why I think it. But regarding numbers here in Brazil, every edition, every different model, it's less than 2,000 copies. It's from 1,000 copies, 1,500. That's that. And most people buy 2, sometimes 3. So you don't have a lot of people buying Falcon. It's always those same guys. So if you're selling 1,500 copies for people who buy 2 figures, there's less than 1,000 people buying. It's too low.
That is low.
That's too low.
I wondered about that. I wondered about how popular that was there.
In the 80s, it was huge. And I had a meeting. I had several meetings with them starting 2014. And the first thing I said and there was the president and the guy below him and some other marketing guys around. And the first thing I said, if you want to sell this, you have to upgrade. You have to update and upgrade the body. This
Yeah.
body is a huge down.
It is.
It's a huge no-no.
Yep.
Because the materials used in Brazil are of inferior quality in comparison to the United States. You have some muscle bodies that the legs are still good.
Yeah.
Because the inner rubber is good.
Yep.
Here we have something that the figure will look loose and saggy.
Yeah.
After 2 years.
That's crazy. The materials are just so poor,
and
right?
The guy there, this guy that's this vice president there, he was pissed at me.
People always get pissed when you tell them the truth.
He thought I was offending him, and I said, you have to change the body. This body it's bad for sales.
Yeah.
What are you saying, that we don't have quality?
Yeah.
I'm doing my job. I want to be a consultant. I'm doing my job. I cannot butter you up,
Yeah.
So but there was this point when they realized that I had a lot of stuff to say and I could help, but they wanted everything for free.
Oh,
and I said no. I can't work for free. I have to eat. I have to pay rent. I can't work for free.
That's the reality of life too. They're just
Yeah, I mean, if you're not donating the figure, you're selling for $60. Why can't you pay me?
Yeah.
So I think it's selling. I think the sales are poor because they have no creative line. Like G.I. Joe and Cobra or The Intruder or Adventure Team and stuff. There's no creative line. They just do what people ask. But when you do what people ask, you are seated. You are just taking orders. You are like this. But when you do what you think is cool, and you show people that this is cool, you change your position, and you are on the leading seat.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's good. I agree. And I don't know how you change people's minds. I think that's probably one of the most frustrating things with people. I think with Hasbro still now is that I think some people feel, and I do a little bit, that they're not pushing the envelope on what G.I. Joe can be. Rather, they're just resting on the Real American Hero line, rehashing that and still giving it to you. They're not doing anything new and fresh, like coming up with a brand new G.I. Joe for a new generation. Like one of my biggest issues with that is with Hasbro. This is just me. And I don't know if anybody shares my opinion, but the big thing with a lot of these companies here in the United States now is they want inclusivity, which is great. And they want a lot of this, we call it here woke stuff. And with war, back the Adventure Team came about because people were pretty much anti-Vietnam back then, so we're going to get away from war and all that stuff. So they created the Adventure Team. And I think Hasbro is kind of speaking out of both sides of their mouth now, because I think they're promoting G.I. Joe and war and combat, and they could take G.I. Joe to a new place. They can bring back the Adventure Team when you've got all these new discoveries on ancient cultures, aliens and all this other stuff. You could create a brand new G.I. Joe for a new generation of kids.
Totally
and
agree.
I'm not saying I have a problem with the war theme, because I loved the war theme when I was a kid. But let's push the envelope. Let's not just rest on G.I. Joe that we know is going to sell. Like, let's be renegades, let's be pirates and go out there and try to make new things. And it doesn't seem like there's any creativity there. It's there, but it's not there,
I totally agree.
I think
totally makes sense. I think we are living in difficult times politically wise, and make war themed toys. Now the world got a lot smaller. So 50 years ago, let's make war against Russia. No one ever seen a Russian. They could be green for all I care. They could be purple, whatever. And let's fight Korea, whatever. it was easier because we never got the reality of the suffering that a war means to
Causes.
both sides. Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. So I think it's make a figure, a realistic figure, a non-superhero figure, uh, adventure themed or
Yep.
war themed. Nowadays, it's very difficult. I would go backwards. For say, if I were conservative, I would go. Oh, let's go back to Vietnam. No, I want to go 200 years in the future. Something very bad happened
Yeah.
to Earth. It's a post-apocalyptic. Nobody knows what's what anymore. And there you go. There you go, your landscape. And you can make war with whoever you want. Because all these guys, they're not real. You can kill, you can cut the head off, whatever you want. Because this is not real.
Yep.
This is fiction. The problem today is that it's too real. It's too close.
Yeah, I don't think and I think a lot of these young people, I see these designers at a lot of these toy companies, just, I shouldn't say all of them, because there's some really good toy companies right now that are making cool stuff. But it's like with Hollywood too. You see a lack of creativity. You're trying to rehash old stuff.
No,
I want to see somebody create something new out of the blue. That was the great thing about the 80s and 80s cartoons and 80s toy lines, is you just have like He-Man, Thundercats, it just came out of nowhere. You're like, this is awesome. And I think we need that more than ever now.
Yes.
But I might be in the minority there. I don't know. But I love creativity.
Well, me too. But maybe this is something that every 50-year-old guy feels, like the world.
Maybe, yeah, you could be right.
It doesn't belong to us anymore. It belongs to the 25-year-old guys. It's their time now. Right. We are parting ways.
It's hard to let go sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah,
but maybe, yeah.
Hard to let go. But I think doing aggressive stuff, because and I'm not judging here, but if you were making action figures about a conflict, doing it today, as the world go with its many conflicts and wars and stuff and terrorists, it's tricky.
It's very tricky.
And today, any empty-headed guy goes to Instagram and says something, and the other ones follow, and they turn it into a big, horrible storm of opinions. And toxic. Toxic, and companies are afraid of that. Imagine the big Hasbro being quoted. Oh, Hasbro is making toys that incentive war.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That's not true. It's adventure.
It's adventure and imagination.
Right? And Jeff, imagine how cool would be. And this guy here is part of a 2-figure set I wanted to bring to the convention, with a Hero 2, and it was my initial thoughts was an adventure on the moon.
Oh, so,
yeah, we gotta leave Earth. We gotta leave Earth, and we gotta leave 2023 to create fiction. Imagine colonize Mars, and then there comes this other race that wants Mars too for some reason.
And we're battling it out.
And we battle there. And G.I. Joe is there. That's cool.
That's what I love about Super Joe. I think Super Joe is such a great line, and I think what the guys at White Elephant Toy who are doing Super Joe, they're doing great. They're doing a good job with that. I really think it's really successful, and I love seeing how creative people are with that.
Yeah. They have some great figures.
I don't know. I think the sky's the limit still. We just need more grip. We just need more creative people.
Definitely.
I'm going to get ready and let you go here in a second. But before I go, we're having I got to ask you one last question before we go.
Sure.
Varginha, the UFO incident in Varginha, Brazil. What are your thoughts on that? I've went down wormholes on it. I love UFO stuff.
Oh man.
You don't have to go
Problem
into
is,
details or anything.
no, its problem is that when you are on the woods, let's say, you have a
Uh-huh.
lot of booze on yourself, you know. So you will see eventually you will see aliens and fairies. So
Yep.
some people say no, this is the real thing, and there's a place, there's a special place, a chain of mountains in
Uh-huh.
Brazil's capital, Brasilia, that people go to wait for the UFOs and stuff, and but there is no proof. People
Right.
say, "Oh, I was taken aboard and they did stuff to me," and then yeah, oh, sure. But are you sure you were not drunk and you were just having
Yeah.
a date
You
night?
know, my thought on UFOs was I just came to an epiphany about maybe a year ago. I used to really like it and believe in it until the United States government started admitting they were real, and then I'm like, okay, they're not real.
No,
You know,
just, no.
when our government.
Let's talk seriously.
No, I joke. I joke. I'm joking, but
No. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah, they are real now. They're not real,
yeah,
but
the government for 75 years they denied it, and now they're telling you it's real. And you're like, wait a second.
I think they are admitting that they are real because maybe it's getting harder and harder to hide,
Probably.
and they cannot deny it. But I think
Yeah.
statistically speaking, there has to be a life on the galaxy
100%.
because I mean the whole galaxy.
It's so
You know,
giant.
yeah, I mean, Milky Way is like a grain of sand on the beach. You know, Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson, he's mind-boggling stuff.
Yeah.
There has to be life. The problem is that our lifespans are too short. So imagine
Yeah.
there's this excellent planet, planet Hawaii, only beaches only,
Yep.
planet Hawaii, but it's 100 light years away.
Right.
So we will never get there.
No, not
We will
my-
not
no,
be alive. So I mean, I think about this a lot because we have to change our minds. Imagine you go on a mission. You are an astronaut, and you go to a planet that it's 20 light years away.
Right.
So you leave Earth 25, you get there 45, and okay, there's a planet, there's the United States flag, all cool. Now I have to go back.
Yeah, you're
You
dead.
arrive. When you arrive, you are 65.
Yeah.
So what's the meaning of all that?
Just to say you did it, I guess. I don't know. That's a great question.
I mean, we should learn to live here the best we can because we won't have life enough to get there.
You're right. We got to clean this. We got to clean our backyard up before we start trying to go.
I would love to meet some aliens. Imagine how cool meet an alien like this figure. And hey man, I did you.
He's like, hey, I inspired you.
Oh, that's me.
I love it, man.
It would be crazy. It would be crazy.
I love the whole genre of that type of stuff. I almost thought about doing a weekly show maybe some year and just talking about stuff like that, but you could just do them for hours upon hours. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
I love sci-fi. Every
too.
space film. I have to see this.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, man, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
I had an enjoyable time. This has been amazing. We should do it again.
Of course.
Sure.
You've got, count me in. I loved it. Just to say
Before
goodbye.
We go,
a traditional thing.
Awesome. Yeah, I love all your stuff, man. Keep doing everything you're doing. I look forward to seeing you. Tell everybody in the comments and everybody who's going to be watching this where they can find you.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at Loucoporbonecos and YouTube channel Loucoporbonecos. And you can also leave any question you like with Jeff, and he will forward me, and I will answer you as soon as I can.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's been great. This is my first, I guess, official live stream, and it's been awesome. I've loved talking to you. We had a lot of people. We had way more people on here than I thought we'd have at this time of the day, which
that's
is great.
That's
and
great.
we'll definitely, I'll tell you what, we'll after the first of the year, let's do this again and see what new stuff you've got. And I want to find out where you're at with your Big Joe stuff and your dream of a company.
Definitely,
Because,
definitely.
This will have to be something you and I, because man, I'll tell you what, Felipe, you're one of my favorite people. You've inspired me. I look up to you in every single way.
You.
You're the guy who launched my passion with creating stuff. And
Thank you.
Man,
Means a lot
I love
to me.
you to death. And I'm
Me
glad
too,
that you're doing
man.
what you're doing. I'm glad that you're back, dude. I really am. I really am.
Well, thank you so much for this all these words, all this encouragement. It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's great,
Awesome.
great. You made my day. You made my year.
Thanks, buddy. Well, hey, stay safe in Brazil. Keep living the adventure, bro.
You too.
Adios.
Bye-bye.